crazy how the
Yeah,
majority
where the chat zone.
of my audience is from the States, but whenever I do a Google Hangout, it's like half British people. I don't know if I've told this story before, but when I was talking about Jackass 2 being rated R, like I snuck into a lot of movies that were, 18A or whatever with friends. But when something's rated R, there's literally, like, they won't let you through. There's a guy, like, checking IDs, whatnot, like, R being Canadian R rating, not American. And, so, by the time Jackass 3 comes out, 3D, I guess that was, like, what, 2010 or something? The last Airbender had already been in theaters, and, Shay and I, we had constructed these masks out of the Real D glasses. So we had the glasses, and basically I took a bunch of old posters from my Blockbuster job, and we cut them up and taped them so that the glasses would go through the poster and we wouldn't have to see any peripherals. But instead of just making, like, something to cover our face, we also, like, kind of decorated it. So what I did is I took the Lord of the Rings poster with Viggo Mortensen, and so his eyes were like the eyes on the glasses, so it looked hilarious because his face was like way too small too. So our plan is we want to see Jackass 3D, and we're gonna do it hardcore because we have been too young to see any of the other Jackass movies in theaters, and this was something that we really wanted to do. I was looking forward to it. I was like, yeah, we're just gonna drink because, 18, how old was I? I don't know, 19? But, so we're like, we want to go to the opening night showing and drink. So I got people over, we're like at my house or whatever. We checked the movie times, and there is no opening night showing. There's no midnight, like Thursday, whatever showing. So we're like, fuck. The next one is like 12:30 or like 1 p.m. the next day. We were not phased about the time, and we decided that they would crash at my house and we would get shit-faced at like before noon on a Friday and go to the movie. And so we had already purchased all of this alcohol, like 2 6 of Jack Daniels and like other hard liquor and Hot 100 and a bunch of beers, and literally we woke up and just started drinking. And we took the bus there. We were all wearing our own like personalized masks at the bus stop, waiting for the bus, and just like fucking chugging different hard liquors left and right. It was me and Shay and this other friend, Michael Batt, and so we get on the bus, and there was this cool awesome black chick who was like, "What do you want?" Sorry.
What do you?
Did you get your jump drive back? I put it on the table.
Oh, I thought she said.
Yeah, I have it. Can I have it for a second? Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So we get on the bus, and there's this cool, awesome, like black chick who is like legitimately, genuinely friendly and interested into why we're wearing these masks on the bus that are made out of like poster paper, and so we explained to her what we're doing. We're like, yeah, it's just so we don't have to see things in the side. And we get to the theater. We're like already shit-faced. And I remember they're like checking IDs, and they're like, oh, you need to take off the mask so we can know it's your face. I'm like, oh, right. So we get into the movie, sneak all of the liquor in, and like have straws and everything to drink it, and watch the movie. It was pretty hilarious. Pretty funny, not as good as Jackass number 2. But my one friend, Michael Batt, there have been a few times at different get-togethers and whatnot where I would be coercing him into keeping up with my alcohol consumption, and next thing I know, he would be in the bathroom, right? So he's not one that I would expect him to be able to keep up with me. And at a certain point through the movie, maybe halfway-ish, I had stopped drinking because I was like, okay, I've had enough. I'm wasted. It's really early in the day, too. And Michael Batt, sitting next to me, he just kept, like, nudging me and being like, no, just pass it, just pass it. It's like 2 6 of Jack Daniels with the straw. Just being like, no, just pass it, just pass it. I'm like, okay. Every time I brought it back, maybe he assumed that I was still drinking some, but I was just, you know, letting it sit on my lap. And then every 5 minutes, he'd be like, just give me some more, just pass it. End credits roll. They're doing the, like, gag reel and whatnot with the end credits. And Michael Batt leans forward and starts vomiting inside his mask. And it's, like, leaking out. And it was the most satisfying thing to witness. Just because, not because he threw up in the theater at Jackass 3 and because we were wasted at the beginning of the day, but because he threw up inside his mask. And that made a very memorable movie-going experience for me. I'm gonna watch 12 Years a Slave in, like, the most comfortable Cineplex chair ever. Why are there 2 of you?
I don't know. Listen, it's a thing. Forget about it.
One of you is just frozen in time.
I want to contact this other Mark and wait.
Yeah,
I'm
send
gonna
him a
ignore him. Actually. Take that, faggot.
Yeah, someone said it sounded like Lego.
Yeah, that was
Masturbating Lego. You know what movie is gonna
Yeah.
suck? The Lego movie.
Oh, it's like cultural reference. The movie.
Yay! It's
We got
funny
Batman.
because it's
YOLO.
Lego.
Ha, ha, ha. Well,
I feel like everything that the Lego brand is, other than obviously their toys, is not only an excuse to be an ad for the toy, but also an excuse to have the most poorly rendered computer animation, like with no textures at all. Like, this is Toy Story 1 quality animation, right? You do not need any, like, high-tech textures. You do not need... Like, you could do it on a computer in, like, 2002, what they're doing with, like, the Lego movie and the video games. It's like, there's nothing to it. There's nothing to it. It's all, like, a flat texture. You're recreating plastic in a computer animation, which is basically... Things look like plastic if you're not doing it right, you know?
Yeah, people would argue that that would give the animators more room to do more visually or something like that. Like, oh, we can make them do these crazy twists and turns in less time and stuff. But that's bullshit.
Nope.
Toy Story 1 did that. It doesn't. It's not an excuse that you have, like, better shots because they're working with less polygons or some shit. It's gonna look like crap.
It looks like shit, and if any other movie looked that bad or any other video game had that bad of textures, people would be livid. But because it's like, oh, what we're trying to go for is shit textures, then it's okay. I hate Lego. I don't know. Maybe the games are fun, but I've never played them.
You've never played any, like, the Lego, like, for the Wii or any of those games, like Star Wars Lego at all?
Nope.
Really? Yeah.
I'm kind of indifferent towards
I guess
Star
they're
Wars.
enjoyable if you just really don't think about it at all.
That's
It's like,
everything. That's like the #1 comment I get when people like a movie that I don't like. Don't think about it. You're not supposed to use your brain here.
The Torn Horse is pretty good if you don't think about it.
Watch it.
I don't know. Maybe the Turin Horse is better if you overanalyze it. I don't know, because I feel like if I really stretched for what the movie was trying to go for rather than what I feel the movie was, then maybe I might like it more. Maybe if I've seen Bellatar's other movies, then I might like it more. But otherwise, it was kind of stupid and really boring, and you cannot excuse any... You cannot make an excuse for the repeated one-song soundtrack by saying, oh, it's supposed to be a part of a style of a time period. I would like to find, like, a single movie from that time period that used the same fucking 3 minutes long song every 5 minutes. The exact same fucking song. That would piss me off every time. I feel like I was taken out of, like, World War Z and, C, sorry, and,
I Am Legend.
I Am Legend more from the CG than I was about, the Matrix. Because I mean, even in the like Agent Smith fight scene or whatever, yeah, it's not like entirely believable, but it's not like when the whole thing's CG. When Neo and the Agent Smiths are both same amounts of CG, it's not as distracting when it's like one not CG character surrounded by a bunch of CG characters, if you know what I mean. And I think that's part of the problem with I Am Legend and World War Z, is like when you have the two compared in the same shot or side by side or right after each other, I think that's when it starts to become more distracting.
The Butler.
The Butler?
Yeah.
Lee Daniels is the Butler.
What?
Oh.
It's part of the title.
Yeah, Lee Daniels is the name.
Fuck, he's trying to be the next Tyler Perry.
Oh, God. He wishes. Which is terrible. There's actually a scene in the movie where the son gets mad and he's like, "You're just a butler." And he's like, "This butler put food on your table." Like, that line, that's an actual line. I'm not even making that up. That's exactly the kind of movie I sum it up just based on that fucking line as well.
I feel like...
Does anyone like Oprah?
Oh.
No.
No. She made a comment about...
You're all racists.
Yes.
No.
Apparently.
Well, she only...
Let's all take this out of context.
I've been really impartial to her for the most part, but she made a comment about like her religiousness that I felt was kind of really misinformed. She was like talking to someone that she was interviewing, and she was like, "What? You can't possibly enjoy life and not be religious at the same time. You can't appreciate details in life or enjoy the complexity of life or like appreciate the way that something looks outside if you don't believe in God." Yep.
See, to me, that makes no sense. Like, if you're an atheist, like, you would appreciate life even more because once you're dead, that's fucking it.
Yeah,
it's really. It shouldn't even, like, I don't understand what would make them come up with this conclusion in the first place, other than, that's what they're basically taught in church. And, I mean, if you don't, like, force yourself to believe some sort of, like, if I wasn't religious, then my whole world would be upside down, then you might not be religious. Right? If you're like, the only reason that I believe in God is because otherwise I would cease to enjoy life at all, then maybe that's what keeps you believing in God, if you seriously believe that.